welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the one and only, the human turret, the world champ himself, one of the best ARs to ever do it. Give it up for Sam LaRue Octane. Then we're joined by some of the best analysis in the game, the world champ, Christopher Duarte Parasite. We got the multi-world champion, the multi-champion, a COD legend, an icon to the Call of Duty scene. Give it up to Patrick Price Aches. And then, of course, we got the one and only, the executive producer of The Flank, Benjay Nassim. Gentlemen, what is going on? 3 matches today. A very, very quick day of matches. Sam, we'll start with you. How you feeling, brother? You doing all right?
I'm doing good, man. I skipped the watch party today because I thought the games would be kind of boring, but up until the last series they were. But everything's good.
Yeah, there was one upset today that we will get to. We'll obviously get there. We'll go through each of the series and give our thoughts. But how's XDefiant been treating you, Chris? I know you've been playing it a little bit as well. Were you just playing it right now, Chris, before the show was starting? Were you just on it?
Yeah, I was getting some hours in because got to do this and reverse sweep, so I won't have much time to play until the DGen hour. But yeah, it's fun. Honestly, I'm more excited for the Black Ops 6 news. I love the XDefiant to death, trust me. But like that Black Ops 6 news was nice. The game looked great from what we saw, and I'm excited to learn more.
Yeah,
about the game.
We're going to talk about Black Ops 6. Obviously, there's a lot shown today, so we're going to go through everything they talked about and kind of give our thoughts. I was thinking we'd do that after the matches because we could probably get through the matches fairly quickly. Yeah. Ben, what did you think, Ben? How's your day going? How's everything going with you? You sent me a picture this morning on the golf course. How's life, brother?
Yeah, I got out around like 8:30 out there. Spectated some good golf today. Course was obviously very difficult if you guys are watching on TV. So got that in. Left midway through the second series, watching a little bit on my phone, and yeah, just like Sam, I expected today to be a fucking snooze, and then the last series made it kind of interesting with some interesting stuff to discuss. The champs race is heating up, Tom.
Yep, it's heating up.
I'm really excited for where it may lead to in a few weeks.
It's getting real interesting. We'll definitely have to take a look at the standings, and then of course we got the one and only Patrick Price Aches. What's going on, Pat? How you doing? You doing all right?
I'm doing good, Tom. Tom, I played Sea of Thieves all day. All day.
What is Sea of Thieves? What is that?
Sunday. See if these balls fit your mouth.
Slay. Pat, this is not the first time. This is not the first time, man. This is not the first time.
There's absolutely no way.
But he's catching me in my professional form on the show. Like he knows I'm
catching you in flow as a host.
He's catching me in flow as a host. That's fucked. But Slay. That was a good one, Pat. I gotta give that one to you, Pat.
Hey, Mount Rushmore villain for a reason, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah. Did you hear about how I got bent today and how he completely lied to me?
Yeah, the guy knew Neil from production.
Yeah, I made up.
Wait, he tried to get you with that too?
Hey, what do you do?
I hit Ben with, hey, Neil from FaZe Production was talking about this and that. I was like, you know Neil, right? And he was like, yeah, I know Neil. And I was like, how the fuck do you, he's made up. How the fuck do you know Neil? He completely lied to me.
I tried to fucking bluff my way. I did not.
No way.
So what's like the punchline? I've never heard that one.
Kneel down, put these balls in your mouth. You know what I mean? Like that was the punchline. That was the punchline there, which I did hit Ben with because he lied to me. Yeah, and he was lying to me for a blatant 1 minute. Yeah, I didn't either. Somebody super chatted and gave me the idea. I tried to hit Sam with it. It didn't really go as planned, but
yeah, because there's a Neil for production.
Yeah, because apparently on 100 Thieves, there's a fucking Neil that works in production, which is insane, which is fucking
there's
crazy.
A lot of Neils that are making the joke.
Yeah. But we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna run through these matches, and then we'll give our thoughts on Black Ops 6. We'll talk to the community a little bit, see if you guys have any questions or anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll have a good show. So I say we hop right into it. I say we get to the first match of the day. We have Atlanta FaZe going up against the Los Angeles Guerrillas. This one ended up being a 3-0 for Atlanta FaZe. I know everybody's shocked back at home. Okay, you can take a look at the maps here. The first map did come down to the wire. It was a very close map. FaZe was able to close it out, but the next 2 maps, FaZe taking care of business in the S&D and control. We'll scroll down, take a look at the stat sheet, and Jesus fucking mono. It is nearly a red carpet for the Los Angeles Guerrillas. Diamond Con, only one sitting above a 1.0 KD. Actually, he's been putting down that damage as well. So a good series from Diamond Con, but just not feeling that same energy from the rest of his teammates. We'll go down the list. Ben, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts on Atlanta FaZe versus Los Angeles?
I didn't get a chance to catch this live, so I watched it back, and obviously not surprised that FaZe tried to get the sub-base reps, and it was like a lot of sub-base we've seen with FaZe. I don't think they do a good job of really taking spawns to their advantage, and it was a pretty close map, but I was And I said last night, like I think map 1 was super key in this because I think FaZe would just run away with it. And it was a fun S&D, and then MC went 15-1 in the control. So that's how we got there. An easy 3-0 for the FaZe boys and tough loss for LG.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. We'll go over to Sam. Sam, what about yourself? What you think about the series, Atlanta FaZe that come out? I know you were on X Defined today. I don't think this one shocked you,
watching.
Sam. I didn't know this one
I was
shocked you.
watching.
You were watching, Sam?
I mean, sub base getting in was kind of expected because FaZe has been playing it, and LG's a good sub base team. But I had a question for you guys. I don't get the desire for them to be good at it. Like, they don't want to play it against Optic. They don't want to play it against Toronto, and New York really hasn't played it that often. And they're not going to lose any other hardpoint against another team. So, like, while I think having an auto veto in sub base, like, obviously isn't good, but I think it pans out for them. So I don't understand the point of them wanting to play it. Unless I'm missing something or if I'm missing an angle, but I don't understand why they want to play it.
I think the angle is this. I think they want to be in a position where they don't have to auto veto it against a
But
team
you're
like
not going
New
to
York,
play it, though.
and it just doesn't get picked.
But it's going to be vetoed even if you're good at it, is what I'm saying. Like,
No,
you're not
no,
playing
no.
Optic or
I
Toronto
hear
on
you.
sub base.
I hear you. Against New York, I think the thought process is that New York's not good at either, so that they can go into a series against New York, not veto the map, and it just doesn't get picked by either team. Then they can choose a different map to veto in that series, aka get rid of, say, a more favorable map for New York. I think that's like the angle they're working on here, and obviously to try and be better at the map overall.
Yeah, I will say, Sam, to that point, I feel like even if they're not good at it and they're just going to veto it all year, like if they can get good at it, which now is probably the time to try and get reps and get comfortable on it. Like if they are able to get confident and comfortable on it, you know, it could change up the way they think about things when they go into these series, like with anyone, right? Like you can get rid of their best map and not really have to think about having like
This is their best map, though, is my point.
You're talking about sub base hardpoint?
Yeah, sub base hardpoint specifically. Like, this is Optic and Toronto's best hardpoint map. The only team that's beaten Toronto on it is Optic, and it's Optic's best map. So why would you want to play like what? Like, I understand not having an auto veto, but I just like the thought process of actually getting good at the map. It's counterintuitive to me because you're not going to want to play it.
It's for one team, bro. It's for New York.
All right.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know what
I was gonna say it's got to be for one team, but like maybe the only other map that they can consider like substituting when they play like Optic, for example, is maybe like they don't want to play a 6-star hardpoint versus them, so they pick this. They leave the sub base in. They're actually trying to improve at it, but like outside of that, there's no real point. Maybe Karachi, but no.
I was just curious because there's the logic of them playing the map. I just didn't, unless I thought I was like missing the angle on it or something. I just didn't know.
Gotta be a one-team angle, bro.
There's also the not want to teach the other teams what they do on the maps that they do play, right? Like who cares what they do against LAG? Like map.
You mean like playing like a good map for them?
Yeah, they might. I mean, there's really no benefit to them playing maps they would play on stream anyway versus these teams. So it's kind of like I get what you're saying, but it kind of goes both ways. Like it's just a no loss.
Really, I just think down the home stretch,
it's not a good rep on a good map.
I think down the home stretch at this point, they should just be trying to like play to their strengths and get like just as many reps on the maps they're going to play as possible. Because like I said, like you guys have pretty much established, sub base is just not going to get played against any good team they play.
Yep. Chris, you got any thoughts on the series?
These are your boys, Chris.
These are your boys. I didn't say it. Sam said it.
They're my boys, but like
Chris, these are your boys, man. What's going on,
bro? They lost sub base, and then the rest of the series got cooked. So
Tommy's boys beat the shit out of your boys.
Tommy's boys beat the shit out of my boys.
Pat, LAG to get smoked. Are you surprised, Pat? Are you surprised?
No, I don't think any of us are surprised. I mean, again, it goes back to what I said yesterday. Like this little experiment they did where they brought in Flames and they won 2 or whatever, and then they've just gotten cooked since. This team sucks. In my opinion, they're out of champs for sure. And that's a wrap on LAG, in my opinion, for the rest of the season, Tom.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the standings will say otherwise. They're very close, but I think you're just saying based on how they look, Pat. Like you just don't think.
I just don't see them beating anybody.
Yeah, I really don't
they're
either.
Just not good.
I really don't either, to be honest with you, Ben. I don't even know if maybe you can pull up their upcoming schedule. Who's LAG playing?
LAG's remaining matches are Boston, Vegas, and Seattle. So I think there's some potential opportunity there. They got to basically win 2 to make winners bracket, but they're sitting like 20 points outside the drop right now, and they're realistically going to have to probably run the table here and then probably get top 6 to really qualify for champs.
I mean, if they can
to bring back
they,
Adam Assault.
I mean, listen, it's doable for them. I mean, Pat, I feel like those are all teams they can beat, right? I don't think they're gonna beat all of them, but I mean, if they're gonna beat anybody here, it's gonna be some of those guys.
I got them losing at least 2.
The way Seattle and Vegas are playing, they're not beating them.
Place top 6 with Adam Assault. Bring him back.
Either way, it'll put them at
I don't think
what
Vegas and
130
Seattle look good right now.
and loser bracket going into the event, and so they would still have to outplace all the teams on the cusp to even get in. So I don't even think a top 6 would do it, to be honest. So I they're out for me.
I don't know why I'm being ignored, bro. I'm telling you, they got to bring Adam back. He's their only hope.
How's he
Adam
doing in
Assault?
challengers? Out of just curiosity, do you know?
I have no idea.
Playing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he's
playing.
playing. Yeah, he's playing.
He's playing
I
challengers.
was watching him the other day. He's been playing.
Playing with like Eric Boom, Dak, and Lunars.
I mean, he fries in challengers. To be fair, to be honest with
doubt
you,
it.
I mean, yeah, I saw it's good
The
in
other
challengers.
problem for LAG is, and I'm scrolling through it now, is the tiebreakers are also not great for them. They've only beaten Carolina once in the 4 times they played. And they're not going to play them again until potentially it lands. So at worst, they're probably going to be 2 and 3 there, no tiebreaker. Then the Vegas match might be massive for that tiebreaker because they beat Vegas online and beat them on land, and they may theoretically get the head-to-head there, and that might get them through to champs. So suddenly, like, we got to start considering head-to-head tiebreakers if these teams end up on like 150, 160 in 7th or 8th spot, and that's really the difference between someone getting in or not getting, not going to champs.
To be honest, they're my boys, but I think they're cooked.
Yeah, I think this weekend might have been the nail in the coffin on that one.
Yeah, it's looking really slow for the Los Angeles Guerrillas. Atlanta FaZe on the other side, they're looking good. They get the 3-0 victory, and they take care of business as predicted. So you guys ready to move on to the next match? Any other final thoughts on the first series of the day, folks?
Nope.
Clean sweep.
Alrighty, let's hop over to the next match of the day. We have the Toronto Ultra going up against the Miami Heretics. This one ended in a 3-1 victory for the Toronto Ultra as they took down Miami. The only map that Miami was able to win was that second map, S&D, which, to be fair, was clinical from them. It was a great search, but they just were not able to hang in the respawns with Toronto. We'll scroll down, take a look at the stat sheet here, and Jesus fucking model. It is nearly a red carpet again, except Metals saves them this time with a 1.08. Miami clearly struggling in the slaying department against Toronto. Pat, we'll start with you. These are your champions at the end of the year. You've been showing these guys
boys,
love.
Pat.
These
Your
are your
boys,
boys,
Pat.
Pat. These are your boys.
My
Well,
boys didn't get their ass beat today, like Chris's boys. But
damn.
yeah, I mean, I think we all just expected them to come out and take care of business in this series. Miami's obviously a solid team, but they're just not on the level of the Ultra. Envoy had a good respawn performance. Scrap still probably best player in the lobby in majority of his series, and that was true again today. Other than that, I mean, if you go to the overview, Tom, I feel like Real's been a little bit quiet for me in terms of like since getting back from Major 3, because how we saw him play at Major 3 was like, damn, this guy might be a problem. And it's not like he's been bad, but he's been a little bit quieter than I would have expected. And also, Ultra has never lost to Heretics this year. They're 9-2 map count. They've never lost to him. So.
Real did have like a stint where he was like the hard carry. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, it was just Major 3.
I just don't think like he's gonna be able to consistently
Maybe
do
it's
that.
an animal.
Maybe, but I also think people around him have been stepping up. I think Metals has been shooting a little bit better.
Metals has been unreal for them. He's been really, really good.
And even yesterday, like Vico, she had a really tough series here today. But even yesterday, like I mean, just people around him are getting kills more now. Like where I feel like in Major 3, like he was the only one like getting kills. It seemed like at some points in time, like it seemed at least that's how it felt. But yeah, no, Real definitely like he's not at that ceiling that we know he can play at right now. And granted, that could also be the competition he's playing, Pat. Maybe it's just the top teams, right? Just a little bit of a harder challenge. So, yeah, definitely gonna pay close attention there. But Duarte, we'll go to you. What did you think about the series? How do you feel about it? 3-1 victory for Toronto over Miami.
Toronto looked pretty damn good. I will say it was funny because me and Sam were talking while we were watching this match, and he said that he played a series against and scrims against Toronto back when he was still competing, where Insight would literally go like 10 and 10, and the rest of the team would just be frying, and they would lose maps like that. And then literally the map after that conversation, Jamie Insight had 3 minutes in hill, and he was like 8 and 9 or something.
Yeah.
And it was probably the funniest thing in the world. But
It was great timing.
yeah, I mean, the one thing I will say about Miami here, because I didn't expect them to win this series, obviously, is that they still look good at search. I feel like these guys have been actually pretty damn good search team. Granted, Toronto have been a relatively weak search team. I think they improved at the major, but their stage performances in S&D have not been the best. So just one thing to note there for Ultra, that they still are, not really that good at search, and they need to work on it, because when they're playing against FaZe and Optic, they can't just be losing S&Ds.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Miami look at search and everything else. They just got pooped on, outclassed by Ultra.
Sam, I see you smirking over there. What's going on?
Got pooped on, outclassed. Yeah, I mean, Chris kind of took what I was gonna say, but it's just the S&D. I think the only way that Miami could have won this series was a Neslo. I think that Control had some moments where they definitely could have won it, but yeah, Miami's S&D has been really, really good. It's been good since the major. It's good to see them not playing 6-star or high rise either, which was like the 1-2 punch that they had at Major 3. So they've shown prowess on other maps, but yeah, I mean, Metals has been great for them. You guys have kind of touched on everything already, to be honest.
Yeah, no, Meadows has been doing his thing, but I agree, Chris. I feel like Miami today, even watching them, like, yeah, they won the search like convincingly, but even in like the high rise Control, the hard part, like they were shooting, bro. Like they were keeping up. Like they were definitely making it like good maps and keeping it close. Like they I feel they had a little stint where they brought in Purge, and I felt like that wasn't working for sure. You could tell the chemistry was off when they brought Purge.
It was a one game.
Yeah, as soon as they went back to what they were doing.
That even happened.
Yeah, it happened, and it was like, oh shit, and they went back. They started speaking Spanish again, and they've looked a lot better. But yeah, Toronto
got their
was too
little
strong
system,
today.
bro. But I will say they're like reliables. I would say reliables, but their map pool and S&D, like they actually have a good one. Because with 6-star, they're really good at it, and high rise, they're really good at it, and then Karachi's like their super fallback. So like they're guaranteed almost to get like a strong map in their map pool, and Karachi's played by a lot of teams, so they're almost guaranteed to get like another like reliable map that they might not like be the greatest at, but like they play it and they
The square up S&D map.
they can split it. So like their map pool when it comes to series is really good, man. If they can like take a Control or hard point off a top team, like they actually stand a good shot at like upsetting teams at this at the major.
Benji Nassim, what's going on? Where's your head at? Toronto Ultra 3-1 over Miami. What are your thoughts?
I think Miami make like too many mistakes in respawn. I think, especially in that Karachi hardpoint, I think at times when they're forced to try and break and really take momentum, I just don't think that they group up a while, work well off in each other, and I think they often rely on solo plays. It was great during Major 3 when Real was sort of a walk-in two-piece, but when he's kind of struggled online the last couple of matches, and he acknowledged it today as well that he's got to work on that. It's gonna be tough to beat a Toronto team that's always going to manage the game particularly well. So I thought it was a decent effort from them, but to everybody's point, they kind of got outclassed in the respawns, and that's how we end up with 3-1.
Yeah. I actually agree with you, Ben. It seems like at times, like their situational play when they need to group up and play quick together, like they do make a lot of solo plays and go rogue sometimes.
Yeah, the fucking last P5 on Karachi, like it was a decently close game. Miami had broken P4. They flipped themselves out by doing that, which kind of sucks. But like the opportunity to break the P5, Vickle gets out. It's kind of unlucky the guy's hiding behind the car, and then suddenly their break attempts after that, they're just going one by one through red. Like it's just not going to work. Like they got to group up and do something together and give themselves at least some kind of chance.
Yeah.
To have control.
Yep. Toronto Ultra get the 3-1 victory over Miami. Any final thoughts, guys, on the series? I definitely thought Toronto, just going into it, they were the better team. They were the better team today. There's no shock. No shock to us. And no more thoughts?
Nope.
No.
All right.
Toronto, man.
Then we go to the last series of the day. This one was an upset, folks. One that we didn't predict. Optic Texas going up against the Minnesota Rokkr. This one ended in a 3-2 finish for Minnesota. Goes all the way down to a last map. It was Minnesota who was able to win both S&Ds and take the Vista map for hardpoint. So they were able to snag a hardpoint there from Optic. Both S&Ds going all the way down to around 11. So just a really back and forth series here. Very tight. We'll scroll down and take a look here at the stat sheet here. Everybody doing what they got to do for the most part on both ends. Very good series here today. I thought Minnesota came out and played well today. They just didn't make a lot of mistakes that they normally make. Well, in the Vista, I shall say. They still looked rough in the map one, and they were able to just win their searches, which I think is what made them win the series, to be honest with you.
They won the series, don't get me wrong, but how funny is it? I swear to God, we pull up the scoreboard every time and it's the same, bro. It's just an AR and a sub positive, an AR and a sub negative, bro. It's actually kind of
It's actually kind of crazy.
It's actually hilarious. Like
Every
I don't know,
time.
they won, like, but it's just every time. It's crazy. I don't know. Every
Lamar
time I look
did.
at it.
Lamar did drop double digits in the map 5. I'll give him that. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Dicey.
this series is so weird to me. Like, it almost felt like Optic felt like after map 1 and the way that they had taken control of the map 1, which is really just run the table up to the 3rd hill, that they were kind of just going to run at these guys and play with like no disrespect, with no respect. And then it really cost them the map 3 because they just made a lot of key mistakes. And then they
Even the
just decided not
searches,
to,
Ben. Even the searches. They were just
the
running.
searches
They were
were
just
the
running
lack
at
of attention
people.
to detail in the searches. They were up 5-2, and I thought the Vista hard point. If you go back and watch it, the hold attempts from Optic were pathetic. I'm just gonna say this, like on some of the P2s and P3s I saw, where they're just not picking up lanes, not picking up pressure correctly. I don't know if it's a communication issue or what, but just a really sloppy attempt at Optic today, and they get punished round 11 because of it.
I don't want to be that guy. I'm making excuses for this team, but it's like relative to every single team. I even said it when like New York loses or like FaZe were to lose. It's like these people are just these teams have to just be bored. Like, and I'm not like
That's what I
trying
said
to.
They look
yesterday,
bored.
bro.
They literally look,
Yeah.
bro.
Bottom
it's
8
just
are
like-
going
The
3,000.
Rio
Top 4 are
S&D
going
Optic
0.
was literally just running at them every round. Like no, just single push. Everybody was just running like in a straight line, just challenging shit.
They very well
Offense
they
and
very
defense.
well may like be trying, like, and this is just like any of these teams, but at the same time, bro, like I don't even blame them. Like Minnesota and just in general, every other team. We even said with Vegas, like yesterday, these guys need every single point they can get. And while every other team is either trying to get reps or try out maps or do this or do that, obviously, if they lose too many, like Optic's already 1 and 2 at this point, they could be in danger of maybe not making winners bracket. But I don't think that's going to happen. So it's kind of irrelevant there. But I mean, good for Rokkr. They did a soft Neslo basically.
They needed
Out
that.
of 6-5, they needed that, and that S&D comeback was typical. Lamar played great in that search, but ultimately, like, if this team doesn't make chance, like, this win will mean nothing. So they still gotta make sure that they consistently can do this, even against the teams at the bottom. Which
Yeah, it was.
they haven't shown us shit yet.
This was a
so.
massive win for them, bro. They need every 10 points they can get here, especially against the top teams, especially these matchups. But Sam, what did you think about the series? Optic lost last map. They lose both searches round 11.
They lost 2 6-5 searches. Yeah, I mean, we kind of said the same thing last split. They just look sloppy. Like they know how to win. They know like what they're doing, but it just seems like they're not going 110. Like even when they go to like the player cams, every time they play online, they just like don't seem like they're all the way in it. And I think today was similar to stage 3. I mean, they just didn't come prepared, didn't come with the intensity required to win online. And like I said, when you're playing against a team that backs against the wall, they're going 3,000%, and you're already a top 4 seeded champs, you won the last event. Like, it's very easy to get caught slipping. And I think Minnesota took advantage, which was big because they have, I think, again, I said it on yesterday's episode, but they have like 3 losing tiebreakers right now with like Carolina and Vegas or something like that. So if they need a point advantage, because they lose a lot of these tiebreakers in points. So this was a massive win, similar yesterday for Carolina.
Yeah, you have some of these teams that are like, this is everything for them.
Yeah,
and you have
like they're
some
showing up,
teams that's
calming fucking everything, going
100%.
insane, and Optic's like,
100%.
fucking 2 mid.
Before anyone else goes, I just also want to put this in a perspective because a lot of people will look at this and be like, how the fuck is like the team that won the last major like losing against Rokkr? We talked about it before. Optic did not look like they were going to win the event. Like even at the major, they didn't look like they were potentially going to win the event in their online stage. We obviously all had FaZe. Like FaZe looked the best. Optic have been relatively sloppy pretty much like the entire time of the last split and at the major up until literally a champ Sunday, which they had like perfect COD day where like they were all playing insane. So
Blackout day.
as much as like these guys should not be losing to Rokkr, by no means have like Optic, like at least online in their like matches, been like the most consistent team in the world. So just something to look out for in terms of like the rest of the split going forward. They still need to improve. That Sunday like hangover that they're having from their championship like clearly has not worn off because I'd expect more from them, especially if they are slacking off to a degree in terms of these matches. Like Kenny needs to like maybe give them a wake up call because I think if anyone's going to do it, like it's going to be Ken because losing to these guys, it's history of losing 2 online matches to like 2 bad teams, I guess.
I think they just need something to play for, bro.
Yeah.
Similar, like what Pat said about Dante. Like these guys just need something to get hype around, get something to play for, and like
But that's
they're scrimming for a week to play one series on a weekend.
It's like
but that's also my bad.
No, go ahead, Chris.
I just want to say that's the reason why like FaZe has been so consistently dominant for such a long time in terms of like their placings and just like consistency in online matches and usually dominating standings is they obviously haven't won everything, but like you still got to give them credit what theirs due. It's they take everything like super serious. Like all their matches, all their prep work, all their practice, like they go like 110%. And although sometimes they'll lose series or they'll like throw shit away or they'll even like test map pools, like you're still seeing them like turn around and win these series. Like obviously that's like it's not an excuse, and you can't always make that excuse that like, oh, you need something to play for. Like sometimes like the road there is more important than like getting to like the actual like tournament. Like that's the practice is what's going to win you the tournament, not like just performing at the events. I guess I don't know how to explain it, but
there's a I read an interview once with you guys know who Gareth Bale is?
Yep. Legend.
Gareth Bale had an interview a while back, and he talked about the difference between when he was on Real Madrid and when he was on Tottenham. And I know everybody in chat's going to meme Tottenham, but that was kind of Gareth Bale's point in the interview. It's like when I was on Spurs and we lose a close game, I was like, oh, well, we gave it a good try. We won a close game. We, a nice tight win for us. And if I was on Real Madrid and we won a game 1-0, 2-1, it was an inquest because we should have blown that team out 3-0, 4-0. And I think that gets to Chris's point, a team like FaZe, their attention to detail is very high. And they don't want to play a lot of series like this. I think for Optic right now, part of my concern is that they have not won a Karachi now this stage or last stage in search.
I mean,
they have not won a Rio S&D in this stage or last stage in search. The map pool S&D map pool issue has shifted a little bit to different maps, but I want to see them continue to work on the outer edges. Their map pools, they play great at that event on the weekend, but the chance of replicating just a hot Sunday again is not a effective way to continually win events, win champs. They gotta try and get a vein of form here and be consistent.
I mean, there's a reason. There's a reason why every time we're going to a major, we have literally one team as like our predicted winner, and it's because they just are consistently like the best team in everything that they do leading up until the tournament. Obviously, when they get to the tournament, that might not be the case. They might not win, but you gotta like not only like you gotta put some faith in, and you gotta put some faith in yourselves and like your fans and all that stuff, and like show out, because this is just like laziness at this point.
And you could tell. Sorry, Tom. You could tell that Ken in particular. I always look against face cam, especially after they lose, and like I could tell that Ken's definitely frustrated with the sloppiness, and he tweeted out, especially their trolls. I think all the guys tweeted out their trolls. Like they've got Carolina, New York, Boston, and Toronto up. They have a good mix of two teams that are top 4 teams that they really need to score up against. Carolina's desperate, and Boston obviously is playing for pride. Like these are 4 matches they should go hard and try win 3 or 4 and just get the right momentum going to the end of the season.
Pat, what did you think about the series? Goes all the way down to a map 5, 2 round 11s. Minnesota take a hard point. What are your thoughts, Pat?
Well.
Here we go.
These guys may need some omnidirectional movement, Tom. This is the worst way to go out. 2 game 5 or 2 round 11s in both S&Ds. Man, losing to the melted Iceman.
My God.
Not good. It's not good, Tom. But I will say, aside from Optic losing, the best part about this for me is kind of put some of these other teams on the hot seat. Rokkr now have the tiebreaker over LAG and Ravens. I mean, I know we think LAG is out, but now Ravens is kind of pissed. And so I'm happy with this result, Tom. Not because of Optics losing, but because of what it will mean for everything else.
Yeah, it stirs the pot.
As far as Optic goes, though, this one didn't mean much for them, but I will say I think it echoes a little bit of Chris's point, to me at least. Outside of that Sunday at Major 3, I'm still not impressed by this Optic team. I think that Sunday they were obviously insane, but I'm afraid for them on a regular day if they're not hot, because I don't know if they have the ice necessary to go big on Sunday at Champs. Just saying.
I mean, they did win 2 game 5s on Sunday. This is the weird thing, is they did win 2 game 5s Sunday at Major 3, correct?
Yeah, I said outside of Sunday at Major 3. Did you miss that part, Ben?
I was trying to
You know what's
understand where
crazy,
you.
though?
Well, I was okay. Just finish my thought here. I think
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the issue for Optic is not just succumbing to all of the external bullshit, complaining about fucking Virginia servers, this, that, and that, and just like focusing in because they've got the talent. They're an amazing respawn team, and their control is very good. But the lack of attention to detail has hurt them now in Karachi because they did not play it for a while, and teams now how they play and their style, and they need to switch up. Rio S&D, they have not adapted. They don't really play the map. And they're going to need to put work in because that's one they're going to have to attack people's map pool on. It's not going to play high rise against a better high rise S&D team. So I just think they need to use this time productively and not to say this was like a whatever loss. They went 0-2 this weekend. I don't know how we don't shrug that off.
No, we're not shrugging that off. We literally said, like, dude, this is unacceptable. Like, I'm telling you, like, if Ken isn't already, if JP, Ken, even Damon,
They're already on it. They're
already on that.
They
shit,
are.
bro. Like,
you know they are.
Okay, like they'll take like as a when you're at the top. Like, and Pat's even been there before too as well, and Sam, you've been there. When you lose like a league match or like a small small time match to a team, you're like whatever. But as soon as like another one hits you, especially like relatively close, you're like, all right, bro, what the fuck are we doing? Like that's strike 2 before you get to strike 3. It's like that's when you like really lock the fuck in because it's unacceptable, and they're probably already on it. But yeah, I thought it was funny that Pat said he was moving to Dallas soon in the last show on Saturday, and
They're
then
going winless.
and then they came back on Sunday and got cooked. It's like, bro, Pat's aura is crazy.
And apologies, I think I only played one match this week.
That's
not
haunting
two.
the org.
Chris, what do you mean,
Pat's
Sam?
aura's
What do you mean,
crazy.
Sam? You've been there. Pat, you've been there. Let's continue. What do you mean
Yeah,
by
Tom. Sorry, and Tom.
What do you
Sorry.
mean?
Yeah,
It's all
Tom, you were
good.
there and went 4
I'm saying being at like
Yeah,
one
won
of
the
the
next
best
3
teams.
maps,
Being
5
on,
different
my
titles,
bad, Tom.
WBs.
I'm saying
Fuck
when you're
yourself.
at the top, bro, you lose one match, you shrug it off. It's like, oh, I wasn't trying. But when you lose the second one, that's always the unacceptable moment where you're like, all right, what the fuck are we doing? And I'm pretty sure that's how they feel. Like the first one was whatever. Second one, they're just mad, bro. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, especially the way they lost the series 2-6-5s.
Bro, did you not see their faces after they lost this series?
Oh, yeah.
Brandon was literally losing composure. Pred literally left his chair. And then
Oh, they're
Ken was also
definitely
losing
pissed.
full.
They're
And then
definitely
Shots-
pissed.
Wasted
bro.
It's wasted a whole week.
Shotzi was actually just like blank face the whole time. Like they lost composure.
They literally wasted a whole week after they lost to Vegas last Sunday. I mean, that's probably why. It's like, all right, well, we just didn't fucking fix any of the fucking issues probably that we worked on for 7 days on. So back to the drawing board. Oh well.
Yep, that's how it goes. Pat, you have any final thoughts there? I know. I don't know if you got all your thoughts out there, but if you got any final thoughts, now's your time.
I mean, Tom, that's pretty much it for me. I think what Chris said is more important here. And that's that, ever since I announced that return, Tom, it's been a little shaky in Dallas. That's all I'm saying. It's been a little shaky.
So what you're telling me, Pat, is you moving to Dallas might be a factor right now. Maybe they feel your presence, your aura.
Tom, you got to think too. Champs is in Dallas. You know what I'm saying? So if you're an Optic
Oh
fan
my
right
God,
now,
you're
I'm just
breaking
saying,
them down.
Wait, Pat,
just
will you be
saying.
living in Dallas by champs?
Yeah,
You will be, right?
yeah. I'll be there
Oh,
3 weeks
shit.
before. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
And I'll be-
shit.
And I mean, I'm assuming we're doing something for champs, so we'll be there. Listen, all I'm saying is it's something to think about. It's something to think about.
Yeah, for sure. Any other thoughts on the series today, gentlemen, before we move on to Black Ops 6, which is very exciting. There's a lot to talk about with Black Ops 6. Any other final thoughts on today's matches?
I'm excited for Carolina Optic next week.
I hope
Carolina
there's
beat the
no
last
more
time I
of
played.
these top 3 versus
Yeah,
bottom
these days
3.
are
Even though
dangerous.
this upset happened, which is cool, but I really hope there's
I've
no more of
honestly
those.
been more excited for the matches, like the lower tier matches. I'm not even lying. Like anytime I know that's like usually not the
'Cause they
sentiment everyone
actually
has.
matter
Whatever the
for
top, unless the top
champs.
team plays each other, it's not fun to watch. And if it's like low tier teams, I actually been enjoying those matches because they mean so much.
Next week's schedule is, if you look at it, is actually not that bad. There's actually some decent.
Who's
matches
playing,
every
Ben?
single day. Well, Friday you've got Optic Carolina, like I just mentioned, which considering Optic's form is very interesting. You got Minnesota, New York. If Minnesota can find a way to win that one, it's massive for the race. And then on Saturday you have 2 big fucking matches for champs, which is Carolina, Miami, and Seattle, Vegas. And Thieves also play Toronto, which is a tough one for them. And then on Sunday,
Seattle,
you've
Vegas
got,
is a big one.
yeah, Sunday you got New York Optic. It's probably the headliner. Got FaZe Thieves and Minnesota, Toronto are all like pretty decent matches. So
Cool.
it's a much better schedule than this last week. I'll tell you that.
Yep. Well, you want to do predictions real quick? We can get our predictions out real quick. What's the first match? I'm on Breaking Point site, but it's all glitched up. It won't
You just gotta scroll down. First match is Minnesota, New York on Friday.
No, not even scrolling down. It's showing. I don't know what it's showing right now, but what it's showing is teams I've never heard of. I don't know
Scroll
who
down.
these people.
I'm telling you to scroll down.
Okay, scroll down. Okay.
Yeah, keep scrolling.
Okay,
Yeah,
Benji.
you're gonna have to scroll for a while. You're gonna have to scroll for a while, brother.
Oh, here it is. Okay. Ben, what's your attitude problem? What the fuck's your problem,
No,
man?
I'm not giving you attitude.
What's your attitude problem?
They got the emojis above the match for Ben.
guess, like,
Crybaby
you, I
cheese.
Yeah, bro, he's getting mad at me. I was just curious. I was confused.
I wasn't getting mad at you.
Okay. We got the Minnesota Rokkr going up against New York Subliners, Optic Texas versus Carolina, and Atlanta FaZe versus Boston. I'm going to go New York Optic FaZe. Who do you got, Ben?
Same.
I got New York because I don't think Minnesota's gonna replicate it. Hopefully Optic beat Carolina, and I got FaZe versus Boston.
Okay. Sam, you said same to mine, right?
Same.
Chris?
Yeah, same line. New York.
Pat?
Optic,
Yeah,
FaZe.
same thing. I'm curious though. I mean, I know I have Boston winning against I think LAG, but is this gonna be potentially the first time ever that a team goes winless in 2 stages, like completely?
Boston, it's
Yeah, because they could do it, right?
I
the
mean,
record's like
they might break
13.
history.
No, that's irrelevant. I'm talking about just like winless in 2 stages though. Like,
I'm trying to think of like
Back-to-back
I'm
stages
trying to
would
think of
be
Vegas.
Fucking insane.
Vegas or Paris had to have done it at some point, right?
No.
I mean, Vanguard, Vegas is fucking
bro,
horrific.
2
So like,
of 4 stages that you don't even win a match is insane.
But they literally, I don't even know what they scrim for. Like, what do they talk about?
someone chat made a
That's
good point. Didn't Vegas and Vanguard only win like 2 series the whole year?
Yeah, they went
They
like
were
2 and
at-
24.
So there you go.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on to some Black Ops 6. Let's switch it over. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will release on October 25th. Today, we were able to get a sneak peek. They showed a trailer. They showed a little bit into the multiplayer, the prestiges, the maps. I mean, they showed a little bit of everything, the new movement. I'm just gonna kind of let you guys have the floor. I mean, I'll start off. I thought everything looked great today. I thought the announcement was insane. I thought just the quality of the announcement was great. I really liked the maps that I was seeing. Looked like there was some maps in there that looked really good for competitive play. They also mentioned about the maps being 3-lane maps. Like they talked about going back to like that 3-lane style of map. So I think that's always music to our ears. I think the perks, the guns, everything looked dope. I think for me, the one concern that I did see is I saw a stim shot in the game, but I feel like that's an easy GA. I just don't.
That was like an equipment or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see. I don't
It's a
see.
tactical.
I don't see competitive. I can't see competitive COD playing with stim. Right, like I just don't see it happening. It's a tactical as
This is
well.
the worst thing to happen to BO4.
Right. And BO4 was like you always had it, right? Like you couldn't take it off. Like you
Yeah.
always had it. So in this game, it's not too big of a deal because they'll probably just get banned. But yeah, I thought the maps looked great. I think another cool thing is they're bringing prestiges back. They talked about how there's gonna be 10 prestiges, and then after that you can keep leveling and keep going up. I think it's just gonna give people something to grind for, something to play for. I got zombies in there. They mentioned Warzone, but didn't show anything. But there's just a lot going on with this game, and I'm really excited for it. It looked really cool today, watching the trailer and everything, and watching the announcement. So
I don't know if they just didn't show it, but like all the sprinting animations they did, I didn't see one tack sprint. I'm fucking pumped.
nah, they showed
Yeah.
settings
There's
though.
one. Yeah,
They
there's
showed
something in there.
somebody maneuvering
They
through the
showed-
settings,
something
and
in
it
there.
said automatic tax sprint in the
No.
settings. It didn't. It said
Yeah,
ATS.
yeah,
Did
there's
it say
something in there.
tack sprint or automatic sprint?
I think both.
I'm pretty sure there's a picture of someone tax sprinting, or not a picture but a video or some shit.
Oh, that's
It's in the game.
fine, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of expected it, bro. Like with the Warzone era, like I don't like Cold War was a one-off. I think it'll always be there for Warzone.
I mean, I
What did you
agree.
guys
I agree.
think of I thought a low-key interesting thing, and I'm curious to see how it does, is the UI customization.
I thought that was so sick.
I thought that's W.
These
I'm
fucking
really curious
morons
about
can
it.
put the mini map on top of their reticle now.
Yeah, I mean, having like a customizable UI, I think is great. I'm surprised it took this long to even see something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna move my mini map anywhere else, so that I'm keeping it top left. I don't know if any of you guys are gonna move like your mini map and stuff, but I mean, it's still pretty cool. You never know what people like or how they kind of want to do it, but
you'll be able to move other shit too, like even like the bottom stuff. Like you can put that, let's say, at the top, so you can maybe clear space at the bottom of your screen, or like clear space at the top, so you can do whatever. But it's gonna be nice. You can even move the kill feed, because I know a lot of people like to have their kill feed in specific places, but that's just gonna be nice. My favorite thing though that they showed was the omnidirectional movement. I thought some people said that shit was like weird or cheese, or people were gonna be like, oh, GA and stuff like that. But honestly, all it does is just makes movement like way more fluid. Like it just makes it so people can like so whenever you're tack sprinting right and you try to like take a sharp turn and slide in the new CODs nowadays, you'll get like a dead slide because your character will stop sprinting when you take like a sharp turn before you click your slide. That won't happen with that. So like you're gonna always be sprinting in a flow, so you can do like more snake patterns rather than like I don't know, it looked cool. I didn't mind it at all.
it looks really smooth. I mean, this kind of shows you how it works here. They kind of go through like a little montage. You can see the diving and what do they call it? What do they call this movement? Omnidirectional. This is interesting too when you're on the floor and you can like spin around with your
Some
gun.
R6 shit.
Yeah, which is interesting. Which is definitely really interesting.
I saw a clip. I don't know what game it was from, but apparently
Max
that was
Payne.
in the prone thing, the prone spin.
Well, that's
from
in,
like a random
Siege,
indie
too.
game. Oh,
It was
it
a
in
random
Siege?
indie game. No, but there was an indie game. I know what you're talking about. That was
Yeah, there was like a clip. I saw it. Yeah, I didn't know where it was
It
from.
was a shooter game that had like that feature. That's gonna be cool though. The diving and being able to like aim and shoot in the air is gonna be cool. Like imagine like a guy's one shot, you're trying to get around the corner for like a trade, like instead of like jump shotting the corner, you just like dive and then can trade the kill. That'd be pretty sick.
I mean, this
the
looks
problem is
dope.
it's a setting, right? It's not baked into the default game. So I think Sam, you were talking about this. Like, what are the odds that this just becomes a GA? Because it's a setting, just like tax sprint is, or auto tax sprint, like stuff like that.
There's no way that'll get fucking removed. There are. Oh, you all would think
You'd be
that
surprised,
has.
bro.
You all one thing that has me.
I'll be surprised if they play with it, to be honest.
I
with
wonder
you.
how good these settings are going to be, or if they're mainly like accessibility settings for people that with disabilities. But they said there's going to be like all these like weird assist settings for people to like have like the movement without actually having to click all those buttons. I think they're like accessibility settings for people with disabilities.
I'm confused.
But I really hope that's like
Just like auto
people don't
ledge grab.
Like,
Like,
is that
more
not just
advanced.
auto mental, or am I like
Yeah,
tweaking?
it's just like a more advanced version of that. Is
Well,
how
no,
I
it's like
understood it.
so. Like, let's say hypothetically, you can turn on a setting where you can turn on all the settings where if you just sprint at like a wall, it'll do all the jumps for you and everything.
Oh, so like if you just run at the wall, it'll mantle over it.
It'll mantle over you.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't have to like click all these buttons.
Because they
it'll
showed
just
like the
auto do it.
inputs that the player was using when they were doing the movement, and it was like just auto mantle movement. So I was like confused. Like they were like touting it as this new thing.
I
and
think
was
they're
like,
accessibility
this is
settings,
just
but I
auto
really-
mantle.
Yeah, it's just an advanced auto mental.
Yeah, I think they're accessibility settings, but I really hope there's no way that people like start abusing that, because I know the pros will be able to control it, like not using those assist settings to kind of help people have movement. But you never know with like challengers and shit. It'd be a mess. Hopefully they're not like anything crazy OP.
Yeah, for sure. What was your guys' biggest takeaway from it? Like, what was your
Prestiging.
the prestiging? You think that's
I
the best
love
thing,
that
Sam?
shit. I do. As a pub player and like just someone that likes to grind pubs and Call of Duty and shit, having 10 prestiges on drop plus the 1,000 levels afterwards is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is cool.
My biggest takeaway is it pretty much like looked like a Cold War style game. Like I like Cold War.
That's what I said. I said like
Cold
when
War
I first
reskin.
saw it, yeah, it looked a lot like Cold War, like the theming of it. I know it's from like a similar era, but it had very Cold War vibes to it.
I like Cold War's like gunplay and stuff like that. The guns felt good to shoot. Like it didn't feel like too realistic or like super blurry. I feel like they're keeping a lot of like the improvements they made in this game, because even this game they like removed a lot of like visual recoil, so that game's
there a
probably gonna
Crig?
follow a lot of suit.
Yeah, there was. It's
Yeah,
the same
there
red dot and
was.
everything.
Red
Literally the
dot.
same shit.
Also, I saw that the fucking gunslinger perk is coming back for the wild card, so you'll be able to fucking
Attachments,
put on
yeah.
8 or 10
Yeah.
attachments or
I
whatever.
will say
so-
a Krig 74U meta. I hope is not the
That'd be
meta.
hilarious.
No.
If that
I hope
happens,
it's not meta.
that'd be crazy.
Well,
That'd be
we're
sick.
the interesting thing is COD Next actually way earlier in the year now. It's going to be at the end of August, so we'll get a gameplay. Seems like probably a lot earlier than last year as far as people going to play it. So we shall
There's
see what we get.
I'm pretty sure there's a commando in the game. It looked like the World at War commando, but it's probably just like an M4, but it looked like one when I was watching the
Oh,
trailer.
you mean the gun?
They said the M4.
Yeah,
is
the
coming
gun.
Back.
It looked like
Yeah.
it looked like a commando from like World at War, which was pretty cool.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I had really thought that pick 10 rumor was true a while back. So I know this is like obviously closer than current Gunsmith, but I was a little bit let down by this. I was really hoping they were bringing back pick 10. Like
I thought the pick 10 rumor was associated with that BO2 remake that was also like circulating.
Oh, the one the following year.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that was
that could be true.
There's
That
been
was
so
for
many-
It was not
rumors.
World at War. It was Black Ops 1. Yeah,
I heard they were making
chat's
AW
breaking me.
again.
that.
You know what I
No,
mean?
that's-
Like
Yeah.
That's tweak.
we've heard
Tom
so
just,
many
wants
different
Tom just wants packs back.
Primary, secondary, dedicated melee. So
Yeah.
you'll have like a melee weapon, lethal, tactical.
I mean, that's
field
probably just a
upgrade,
knife or something, right? Like that's probably
Yeah.
3 perks plus perk specialty. What the fuck does that mean?
like a perk bonus. Like if you're on
To
like a
be
kill streak
determined.
or something.
No, that's not what that is.
Oh really?
think
I don't
that's
know
what that
I don't
is.
know what a perk specialty is.
Well, they were also talking about how
The 3 different classes or
there was
whatever
like
in multiplayer.
roles. There's
Yeah.
like roles in the game. I don't know if you guys heard that, but there was like a
Support. It's like support, like marksman or something for
They
kills,
just
and I
take
forgot what the other
wild
one
cards
was.
and they just turn them into classes basically. There wasn't wild cards in one of the other Black Ops games.
It was in all
They've
of
been
them.
in all of them.
Yeah. But like
Mm.
in Cold War in particular.
yeah. There was
Yeah, that's
one.
right. That's what I'm thinking.
Nah,
They just-
bro.
they
There
just
was
taken that
one
and
where
put a spin
somebody
on
had
it.
fucking walls. Did you guys not see that? shit?
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
fucking X
That's
Defiant intel.
probably the perk specialty thing, like
Yeah.
some
Probably.
kind of like specialist like thing.
You get
That
like a
shit's
class
nice.
thing.
Some of
That
that shit will
shit-
get banned.
Walls, that shit's getting insta
Some of
GA.
that
People are
shit's
gonna be
getting
running around with one perk specialty the whole
Oh,
time.
we don't. It's not even GA. It's Spin and Spencer already gonna have it on the fucking V1 list. You don't know
Revealed
this
by
shit.
Intel suit. Revealed by Intel suit.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Well, Sam said prestigious. What about everybody else? Chris, what are you most excited about?
I
I'm
mean,
most
I
excited about
was-
new maps, bro. That's mine is new maps. I'm just excited
Well,
to
I
see
want
new
to
maps.
ask you
bro.
guys. So they had 1260. What is a strike map or whatever it's
Just
called?
a smaller,
They
like
said
2v2, 4v4
I
map.
think they pretty
Yeah.
much just add barricades to the map because you can play it. You can play it in a 2v2 version, right? And then you can also play it in a
No,
different version.
I
Or
They,
think
is
they
that
use the
not
same
how it
thing.
works?
No,
They use
no,
the
no,
same
no.
phrasing in Cold War.
I think it's. I
Ah.
think they're just. I think
Yeah.
they're. It's like gunfight. It's what was the game mode? It was like Fate. Was it Face Off or some shit like that? They're basically like super small maps, and you can play it like you can like queue into them and play 6v6, or you can play in like a 2v2 like gunfight style
Oh,
map.
so it's not like a competitive map. Like it would never.
No. They're like so like you know how, like they have shipment and they got their nuke towns and stuff like that. They're like either that relatively that size or smaller. And at first in Cold War, I think you were only able to play them 3v3. And then like as the game like lifespan kept going, they ended up making it so you could play those maps in like a 6v6, and it's just
Yeah.
fucking chaos.
So is it like it's you're saying it's going to be a version of the 12 map?
No, I
That's-
think they're like dedicated maps. I could be
Oh,
wrong
okay.
though.
So-
But that's,
like,
they
for
were they
example-
were dedicated maps.
They considered Crossroads a strike map in back in Cold War. It's just to your point, like it's just a smaller version of maps that's not supposed to be fucking like
Ah, okay, so
probably
yeah,
12.
it could be.
yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously Crossroads ended up not being a
So
combat.
it could be a version of the 66 maps. It could be.
So
Mhm.
we'll see what we get. But what I'm most excited for is, and I assume we go with Treyarch, is a good, hopefully consistent spawn system. We bitched about it for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Seems like this is very Cold War inspired. If out of the box, traditional spawn system, a good gunplay, like we're gonna have a good year as long as it's just continuous content coming out.
I think Treyarch's only had bad spawns once, and they fixed them like within like a month or two, and it was BO4, and then they fixed them. But Cold War spawns are really good, so hopefully, God bless, we go back to a fucking normal spawn system, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm tired. It's 50-50 bullshit we get this year.
Honestly,
Predictable,
though,
but you don't know which one. you're gonna get.
wish list for me, wish list is nothing about the game. It's honestly all community based, bro. I hope fucking they keep making improvements to the anti-cheat copium. I hope 8s don't fucking die within like the first like 5 months of the game. I hope the community is more active than ever because we desperately need it for content. The fact that like even in this game's life cycle, listen, I don't blame people. I get it. I've been there, competed, but like people don't even play the game. They don't grind. It's kind of insane.
But I feel like that has nothing to do with the game, Chris, like at all. That's to do with the ecosystem around the CDL. Like
That's also
and
like
we've
a-
talked
facts.
about this before, and I'm talking about pre-CDL. There was incentive to invest your time into doing things like 8s and tournaments. There isn't anymore. It's gone. Challengers, we've talked about this. The return on investment for you as a player in Challengers is so minimal. And if you're not in the league, you basically are irrelevant to the scene. That is how the CDL is set up. So I mean, we could have the best game of all time ever, and I still feel like 8's tournaments, that same issue is always going to exist, no matter what, until there is a monumental shift and change with how the format around competitive COD works.
I think you're right. I think you're right, but you ask pros, and a lot of people will say they don't play the game because the game sucks. Like
Well,
a lot of the
yeah,
pros will say
but
that.
even then,
sure.
the bottom 8s, like they still are de-incentivized to play. Like it's just the problem is the format around the COD League is horrible, and it's bad for everybody. It's bad for the viewers. It's bad for the pros. It's bad for the amateurs. It's bad for the aspiring players. It's bad for creators. It's bad for everybody. So until that changes, I don't think the game will matter.
One last thing.
Chris.
Theater mode is back, so that means like you don't have to like live record if you're making videos. You could always go back in theater and record stuff, or even like make montage types content. That's also a W. So thank God theater's back.
Yeah, that was cool.
I just want to add one more thing, Pat. I think because I think you're 100% correct, but I think there's also another factor at play here. There's just like if you compare now to like say a Ghosts or World War II or like even any of the PAX games, there's just so much more content and gaming just available to people. Now that especially everybody in the scene has moved to PC. You just you can just do other stuff at night, and people want to rewind and relax, especially like in the spring and the summer when traditionally people don't want to keep grinding the game, and that's why on top of the fact that game battles fucking collapsed, no one's playing tournaments in S&D fucking gels anymore.
What was I gonna say?
It's all search, bro. Nobody like even last night. Bro, I'm sorry, bro, but S&D challenges are just so boring sometimes, bro. Like we need to bring back respawns back. Breaking Point had the 8 system going on for a little while.
But Tom, dude, the game, the
I get
respawn
what
in
you're
this
saying,
game
Chris.
is
I get what
so
you're saying.
ass, bro. Like, this is, bro. Everyone loves Hardpoint. I fucking love Hardpoint. This is the worst Hardpoint game we've had in so fucking long. It's actually absurd. Like, it's always like fun just getting kills and popping off, but like from like a gameplay standpoint, spawns and everything, and just like randomness and frustration, this is probably the worst Hardpoint we've had ever. It's worse than last year. Last year, yeah, you got Sound Horde, but the spawns were pretty much like way more readable than this shit, and the maps were like they worked. In this game, we're forced to make a lot of them work. Like it's really bad. But the one thing I will say also, because I just touched on theater is going to help the challenger ecosystem so much, and just in general, maybe incentivize more people to play Chalice, because it's going to be way easier to catch cheaters.
Yeah,
like just being able to rewatch
100%.
a game and just watch what people are doing. Because before you had to rely on fucking dog shit ass monitor cams and all that stuff to like obviously see what people are doing. Some people wouldn't stream challengers and stuff like that. Like now you're going to have way more concrete proof to actually go back and actually see people that if the people are hacking.
I think theater is an insanely net positive, but I will say one thing I've always hated about theater is it allows people who otherwise wouldn't learn on their own to catch up.
Well, there were options in previous games to not record the theater in your private matches.
Oh, really?
Like there were toggle options in previous games.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
if you could toggle it on and off to where like you could play maps without them being recorded, I mean that'd be fire. That'd be sick. I just don't know if that's actually gonna be a thing. What game was that?
I mean, it won't be for pros because they're just fucking everybody's just doing.
Also, people won't have access to it. Oh,
One thing I am
on
looking
their
forward
accounts.
to the most: zombies.
Zombies is gonna be
always.
Bro, it looks so sick.
Classic
The zombies look
Those are gonna be
crazy,
sick.
bro. The zombies actually look crazy. I feel like the
Yeah.
map is gonna be dope. Like the zombies.
swear-
map in
Well, they
general.
said 2, I think, right? They said 2 on launch.
Yeah, two maps on launch. I swear you and like Laysealed and like Ricky used to play the fuck out of
Dude,
zombies.
yeah.
Am I tweaking?
BO3, all the zombies. I used to play them, bro. I've played zombies since like World at War when they first came out. Like it was me, Ego, Sharp, and Big T. We were like
Man,
a
what
zombie
a
group.
squad, bro.
We played like World at War. We played BO1. We played the BO2 ones. Bro, like there was just so much zombies played in the past. I mean, zombies is fun as fuck.
You know what? Last thing on mine, just watching the reveal today made me think like, you guys are down. I'm gonna try and see if we can make it happen. Like, get a Treyarch dev on our show at some point in the summer.
Yeah, my boy Lawrence did.
Maybe around multiplayer reveal and
For sure.
I would love to.
Hit up Maddox.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure we can get a developer on.
PR to get the angle, but we'll try and figure it out because I think the chat would love it too if we can get someone from Treyarch on to speak to the new
Come on,
product and
absolutely
what's coming
glaze
out.
them for an hour and a half. I'm down.
I will
Sure, I mean,
say,
that'd be a productive
They
combo.
deserve it, man. Honestly, I feel
I
like
will say,
Treyarch's
and
always
this
been
is
Neil
steering us
from
in the right
Treyarch. Yeah,
direction.
go fuck yourself, stick 'em.
Go ahead,
this
Pat.
obviously has nothing to do with X Defiant, but I think the one problem, and this has been like a thing for 5 years now in Call of Duty, is I like that they're adding everything back, like prestige and everything else. But from just a player perspective of grinding through the normal progression stuff, I hate that they had nothing to say about skill-based matchmaking. Because that is the one thing that, like, just from grinding a COD day in and day out, it's annoying as a player. And I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I was surprised they left
I feel
it
like we're in a
out.
place.
Yeah.
Bro,
I feel like
the
we're in a
amount
place of privilege when it comes to that, though. Like we don't like I don't really care about SPMM all that much.
No.
When it comes to COD.
I don't care about just
Yeah,
playing
it just
pubs
makes
because I'm
playing
good
pubs
enough
get
to like.
annoying.
Yeah, it's more so, bro. This year I dealt with it when I was grinding Interstellar. The amount of dumb fucks that would say GGs after a game, or
What is
like,
Interstellar?
or like
The
Interstellar
mastery
was the
camo.
mastery camo.
Oh, I
I'm
thought
doing
that was a
mastery
game. I
camos.
was
They
like,
would
what
come
the
in.
fuck?
They would come in the stream, say GGs. They were just using like ACR, shooting bodies. I'm like, bro, you are fucking terrible. Like when ranked comes around, like you're nowhere to be found.
Dude.
I'm sitting
Yeah,
there
Haggie's
grinding.
pissed, bro.
I'm
Chris is
Bro,
pissed,
Chris, you
bro.
wanna know something funny?
They're
You
shooting
want
his
crazy?
body and
So
shit.
in X Defiant, it's easier right now because
Oh,
the mastery
shit.
is just getting kills. It's performing. Like I can
Yeah.
perform with a shit gun and outgun like the Timmies. But when you're going for like hip fire kills or like having to like direct hit somebody with like a launcher and they're just jumping around corners, sweating with like the
Backstand
best
kills.
gun.
Yeah,
Bro,
wait till you
I'm
get
losing
reverse 360
fucking
dolphin dope when you have to
full.
direct impact someone with an RPG.
I'm losing
You're going for
fucking
headshots
full,
and
bro.
Yeah,
diving
exactly.
sideways.
You're getting
Bro,
720
You
dolphin
have to
dope
grind
on.
fucking hardcore.
Bro,
pubs.
you're
Good
gonna
luck,
you're
like-
gonna
Bro,
turn the
Chris,
corner.
it's
Somebody's
funny.
gonna be on the ground on their butt, aiming a gun at you. Like
Yeah,
just sitting there.
exactly.
Yeah,
Chris, it's
so-
funny you brought that up though, because I had the same shit happen to me when I was grinding for it. I got so angry at like everyone going 200% that for a week straight after I got the Interstellar Mastery camo, I was playing hardcore. I put on a 100-round FAMAS and played Rust 24/7 hardcore with a sniper scope and dropped 150 kills for 8 hours a day for a week straight. Just like unleashing anger on
Did
people.
any of you play
Play what?
Black Ops 6?
No. no.
I could have, but I just didn't wake up. So-
Oh,
No,
Wait,
what?
It's,
wait, wait,
it's
wait.
chalk.
hold
You
on,
didn't
hold
play
on,
the
hold on.
new Treyarch Call of Duty because you slept?
Bro, I was
No.
playing all night till like 2 a.m., bro. I was playing all night. Bro, I woke up and Shanice was
That's a
calling me.
Luma in the chat, bro.
She was like, "Where are you?" Well, no. See, here's the problem. I had to do something as well, and I was thinking about skipping it. I probably could have skipped it. You know what I'm saying? I probably could have, but I just didn't because I felt bad. So I
That's a
didn't skip
Luma
it.
in the chat.
Well, yeah, nah, it's a Luma in the chat for sure. They were in LA, I think. I think they were in
You
LA.
could have. You
But-
could
Yeah,
have.
they were.
Actually, I would
That's
need
where
my
Treyarch
phone
is.
to tell us stuff.
Yeah.
Do we know
Yeah.
what the health is?
No.
I mean, health is
Treyarch's-
well, actually, health
Treyarch's
is
usually
irrelevant
higher
'cause-
though, right? They're usually like a higher because Cold War was 150, correct? And so BO4 was a little bit higher as well.
Yeah, but 150 is irrelevant. It just it
Well, no,
gives
the
them
TTK, but-
they can just make the TTK
Yeah.
like the same. It's just more higher health gives them more room to balance because they have more numbers to play with.
Mm.
But
I think Treyarch
it'll
usually
probably-
wins on
to-
the higher health.
To be
It'll
fair,
probably be
though,
Cold War, bro.
it
It'll
was
probably be
far
Cold War
away,
TTK.
guys. It was far
Oh,
away.
here we
How's
fucking
far
go.
It was
away?
bro.
far away. It was like an hour and 15. It was like an hour 15. I was like, yeah, chalk. It was like, yeah, chalk that.
Bro,
It's-
To play the new
Tom, you
Treyarch,
just
I
have
would
to
have
manage
I
your
would have
time,
crawled through a
brother.
mile of broken glass. bro.
Don't try and squeeze out of this one, Tom. Don't try and squeeze.
Listen, man. Listen, I know we got COD Next coming up. I always look forward to COD Next because that's when you get the true multiplayer
Yeah.
like reveal, right? That's where you get like all the maps, everything. You get to see everything. Like COD Next will be a good event to just really see everything, you know? So
Yeah, Ben, can you like get us in or what?
I'll
Like, I know-
try
I
my
know you're
best.
that guy, bro.
See what I can do.
for COD
I'm
Next,
definitely not-
I want to sit
I'm
next to
def-
Lil Jon.
We'll see what we
I'm
can
definitely not getting in, bro. I literally cooked Black Ops 6 today.
well, somebody said I might not go to COD Next. That's because it's where it's located. I obviously don't want to leak anything. I'm not a leaker, especially when it comes to that stuff. But I'll be watching it for sure. I mean, who's not going to be tuning into COD Next? I mean, we'll be live
Wait.
watching it.
To what?
COD next.
COD
In
Next?
August.
Yeah, it's
COD
the
Next.
multiplayer,
Yeah,
like
it's
the multiplayer
they
Warzone where
like
all the
fly
creators come
out.
and play.
Everybody.
Oh, Scrappy will be there. COD Next?
Oh, that's
Oh,
cool.
what
It's a
the-
going. But yeah, no, I think COD Next would be dope, and yeah, and that's definitely on me for not making it out this time. But
COD
we'll
Next.
be back. We'll
That's
be back.
insane.
I appreciate the invite as always, though. They
You're a
shout out
fucking bozo.
to Rob and Shanice and all those people over there. And I think we should talk to them, Ben, about maybe getting a dev on or something. I think that'd be really cool.
I'm literally about to DM them right after the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be like that. But any other final thoughts, guys, on Black Ops 6 before we head into some community questions? We'll answer a few questions. Maybe we'll pick out like 3.
really.
The Game Pass thing is really interesting, and we still
Oh,
need
yeah,
to get some
global
more
release
details
for everybody.
about, like early access and stuff. So there's still a couple more questions that front, but it was a pretty good reveal. So I'm excited
Wait,
for more
I
info.
forgot about that. I'm so hyped that I don't have to fucking play a PS5 beta and be like, man, the game feels like ass on console. Who knows how it's gonna feel on PC? I hope it feels better. I can just be like, okay, the game's fucking great. We're on PC. We're good.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, those console betas playing with that controller delay it takes all the dope away, man.
I just hope that we
100K.
don't waste a year like Treyarch doing their 50% and then the CDL does their 50% with the format, and we like actually capitalize on a potential good year instead of getting a dog shit format with no tournaments or some shit like that.
I agree.
Agreed, Sam. Agreed. Based from what I've heard, though, what I've seen, it seems like there'd be a lot of support around this game right now. And they've been working on it for how long now? How long have they been working on this game?
3 years, right? I think
4
it's like
years?
3 years.
Yeah, they're taking this game really seriously, man. They're putting a lot of time and work into it. So huge shout out to everybody. I mean, even today during the reveal, just to see all the work that they go through to make these games possible, like they got my respect, man. I know it's not always peaches and cream with the devs and
No one
competitive
does it like
COD.
Treyarch, man.
But yeah, I mean, just seeing all the work that they've put in and everything that they've been doing, I mean, they deserve nothing but praise. And I know the game hasn't come out yet, but I mean, even just seeing a little bit of it today, you can tell we're just all really excited for it. So we're just shout out to Treyarch, shout out to all the devs, Activision, everybody over there, Shanice, Rob, all those people. I know they got a lot planned. So and I got a lot planned too. I want to run some of those tournaments again, like bring back some of those like preseason tournaments and get some competition going early. So a lot's already being planned and in the books. So stay tuned for a lot of that stuff. But let's swap on over. Let's answer some questions. And then we'll call it. First and foremost, thank you to everybody who has joined the community here on Twitter and has been joining in, answering questions. I've been posting every day on here. That way you guys can come in and ask away. We'll go to the first question from Cowboy. At this point, do you think it's fair to shift majority of the blame on the so-called coaching staff for Boston Breach? I feel like they're getting away with their team being awful. Should they not have a job moving forward? Jesus, Cowboy.
No one
what
should
the
have
fuck?
a job under that franchise moving forward.
I think I have a feeling they're going to blow it up at the end of the year. I have a feeling they're going to blow it up.
Organization that has said to have invested a fuck ton into their players, staff, and everything, and just continues to do so. For them to achieve the results that they have in the last couple of years is actually just a fucking abomination, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, the best player that went through their organization, you could argue, is Dan Ghosty, and Dan's on Thieves.
They're literally the LAG V2, bro. LAG had infinite amounts of money and just fucking achieved absolutely Nathan.
Yeah,
and now
but
Boston's doing the same thing.
We've talked about this before. It don't matter if you have all the money if you got no brains. Like it really don't. And I think that's kind of been the problem with multiple franchises in the CDL, not just Boston. And that's their own fault, right? Like you should hire the right people in management roles, make proper decisions, and a lot of people didn't in the CDL. A lot of people still don't in the CDL, and that matters. So,
Yeah.
no one's fault but their own.
Yeah, I expect them to blow it up at the end of the year. We'll see how that goes. I don't know why I have a weird feeling too. I think Doug's gonna get more involved just by the way he's been talking and when everything went down and how I don't know. I feel like going into next year, I wouldn't be surprised if they had Doug kind of step in and do some things. But yeah,
I mean,
we'll see.
I wouldn't even mind that, bro. Like for all the shit
I
we
wouldn't
give
mind that.
Doug's actually smart. And I mean, he obviously has his own way of going about things, but I think that's probably been the problem with Boston as is they just probably have this insanely big conflict on what direction they think they should go with who's involved now.
General manager Doug, bro.
Like
I
feel like
GM
they need to get
GM
aligned, and that's the problem is they're not aligned. Like, bro, this whole like Snoopy thing, Austin thing, bringing in random pieces, like this franchise just needs to get aligned on what they want to do.
Mhm.
My only advice to Doug is that if he gets in that situation, he's got to be willing to be more patient, because I think if he wants to be in a situation where he's heavily involved in micromanaging, I just don't think it's going to work with a lot of the player personnel. I think that's going to be required for them to bring in to try and like develop a team. But just coming in and just respecting the project and being a steady ham and all that will be the best role. And if he gets too in the weeds, I think there's going to be a lot of the same tension they have now.
Yep. Let's swap on over to the next question coming in from Savannah. How do you think the new movement will affect the CDL players since we already see a very noticeable skill gap? How would they keep it competitive? Do you guys think the movement's going to be a factor next year?
I actually don't think they play with
The
it.
movement doesn't play that
I'm
big
on
of a factor.
I'm on Sam's side.
I don't think
I
they
think it
use
gets
it.
GA'd.
I don't think they use it once. I think Shotzi's going to use it in pubs, and there's going to be a clip thrown in
Nah,
a
bro,
DM chat, and
the-
everyone's going to say, "Yeah, we're not doing that."
Bro,
and
that
it's
is
not
like
going to be
like
used.
one of the major like things about the game that is going to make it different from like all the other CODs. If it's going to be used, there's no way it's not. Like
I would
it's-
actually bet
it's
you
not
money
even-
right
it's
now.
not- it's
I'll
not
bet you
even
money
a
right
cheat.
now
It's
that
not
it
even a
gets
I
cheat.
hope,
cheated.
I hope they don't, though. I hope they
Chris,
don't
to be
GA.
fair, Tax Sprint was a big innovation in Modern Warfare 19, and if there was a setting to disable it, they would have back
But
in the
that's
day.
not even like it. So the think of so like you obviously have air strafing in your game in X Defiant. Think of like the sprinting sideways or backwards as just like another like strafe.
Yeah,
That's
it's not that
even,
big of a
bad.
deal. It's not bad
I'm
at
not
all.
even
arguing it
bad.
from my perspective. I'm arguing it from, and I think Salmon's as well. From
I don't
what
think
we
they're going
know
to
about
GA,
the
guys.
players.
I don't think they're going to
Nah,
GA it. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's
I
going to
bet
be that
cash right now that
cheese.
it
Like,
does.
how
What was
cheese
the
could it
reason-
possibly be?
What was
I
the
know,
reason
it's
to
literally
GA
just
it?
sprinting.
Bro,
It's
that's
literally
the
just
thing.
sprinting in a different direction.
We don't know yet, but like Leaning got GA'd, right? Like there's been all these mechanics
Leaning was
that's
cheese,
gotten
though.
added.
Leaning was
Yeah,
cheese.
but that's what
Wait,
I'm
no,
saying,
no, no,
Tom,
no.
is like this could be cheese, and we just don't know it
Nah,
yet.
I don't see this being
leaning,
cheese.
Leaning was cheese because it made your gun have negative recoil when you lean.
And there
bro.
was
Like,
great,
mounted on a door.
and there was
But I'm
crazy
ju- but I'm
angles where you
just
couldn't even
saying,
see him, almost like stair glitches.
every feature that's got added that's also been a setting to enable or disable has gotten GA'd. Every single one. And if Tax Sprint was a setting, it would have gotten GA too. And we agree, by the way, Tax Sprint is horrible
Tax
for
sprint is
6v6
horrible.
multiplayer.
Tax sprint is horrible not because of the speed; it's because of the just random timings. That's really why tax sprint sucks.
And you think
But-
perma sprint isn't going to be random timings? You
Well,
don't
it's
think
not- it's-
sideways sprinting is going to be
but that's
random
like
timings?
you're never sideways sprinting to a cup, bro. You're literally
I-
like
I mean,
you would
I'm
be
just saying, bro.
using-
We all
sideways-
played. We all know who's in the league. We all know how this shit goes.
Also,
I
aside
don't think
from
they're going to use
aside
it.
from
Whether
the
we think they
omni-
should or not.
aside from the omnidirectional thing, the like when you come around a corner and you have like auto assist, so your camera basically will move
Yeah, your
accordingly.
gun moves.
I feel like that's gonna get GA. Like
That's not GA-able. I'm pretty
No,
sure
so
that's-
I think that's a
I
base
that's-
feature.
one of those
Pat.
situations,
That-
especially with the
yeah,
Treyarch devs.
I feel like it might be a setting.
No,
where
that-
if there are, listen, guys, if there are abusable mechanics as omnidirectional movement, I know you can only make so many changes based on a beta build because the game is basically virtually done at that point. But taking that initial feedback on an older build of the game and making adjustments before launch would be really key to not having real tough conversations at the end of October, beginning of November about, hey, like this shit is a little bit broken. You guys got to fix it or it's got to get restricted for comp. And the last thing you fucking want is your big fucking feature ad to not be in the pro scene and it's not a one-to-one to what we have out of the box.
I'm gonna be honest, that shit's not OP. Like just looking at it.
I don't think it's
Obviously,
OP. It's not. We're not saying that it's
Yeah, it's
OP.
not about
I'm not
that.
arguing that it's
It's
OP.
not
I'm
broken.
arguing like just the people in the league and the precedent of GAs that have been set up to this year.
They want
Well,
the game to be as straight up as possible. Yeah, it's always been that way.
I don't think that's.
I
gonna,
think
I don't
like
think
if they
it's
played
gonna
with
cheat.
it, it
Either
would
way,
be entertaining and fun and cool to watch because I could watch Shotzi 720 dolphin dive somebody. But like again, just the precedent of how quickly things get GA'd and what types of GAs there have been up to this point, I don't see this being in the game.
If they GA, we're bringing our bully tactics back. We're bringing it back, bro. We're getting
Fucking with it. Let's go.
Good,
Yeah,
like, the
there's
same
no
thing.
way-
The
there's
same
no
thing
way
we did with the
we're-
snaking, bro.
Yeah, but
It's
we'll
it
be in the
definitely
same
doesn't look
fight,
as
though.
cheese.
They could be in the same fight. Is if we get like let's say it's an argument between the pros of whether this is allowed or not. Then you could get half the league that's gonna be like, all right, well if this is allowed, I'm gonna snake, and then snaking's back, and then we're like it's
There's
it's
probably
even worse.
there's going to be some
Wait,
crazy
Cold War?
interactions like if you can snake
Wait,
with the movement shit
snaking-
and all that combo.
Snaking in Cold War is never that. Like non-Cold War in Treyarch games is never that bad. It's always the slide cancel that gives a
The
pop-up
instant
glitch that's
slide
bad.
cancel,
The
yeah.
instant slide cancel that's bad. But like snaking in the last recent Treyarch games is never like a thing where you prone and get up.
Yeah, in Cold War, it wasn't. There was really no snaking in Cold
No,
War.
it was all slide canceling. So like
the instant slide
you
cancel.
Yeah, to
instant
slide
slide
into it,
cancel
yeah,
and pop up
yeah.
glitch ahead is what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Same in
Yeah, 'cause you
BO4.
fucking were on
Wait, what was
super
the
speed.
was Cold War the first game that was it the left stick slide where you would just basically keep sprinting as the way to cancel it?
You would hold left stick and then
Was it
just
Cold War
slide
that
and
was
then
the first
aim.
thing?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the instant
they,
slide
but
cancel.
but they made slide canceling just like basic. It's like a built-in thing now. It's just like slide and jump.
Yeah.
So like it's easy now.
Mhm. Yeah.
What else? I remember there was something else I was going to bring up about it, but I don't even remember. Just never mind. Forget it.
All right, we'll
Go on.
move on to the next question. We'll take one more question. There's a shit ton of questions. We'll obviously try and take some of these, and if there's any good ones shifting, I've seen a lot of shit questions as well. A lot of them are very trolly. Ben, a lot of people are challenging you in a 1v1 now for any amount. I
Interesting.
see a lot of people in
Okay.
there trying to challenge you in 1v1 shipment, but Well, if there's any good questions, I'll go back and that I see, I'll save them for other shows. But we'll end with this one. Is it possible for the CDL to get back to doing LAN league matches? Fact that teams pick up majority of their points from online COD just doesn't feel right. And I know we've done this in the past. We've done this before. We did it in World War II, right? We were in Columbus. We were in Ohio.
Yep.
And I'm not gonna lie, it was some of the best times.
Yeah,
it was some of the best time of my life, bro. Playing on LAN for like league matches, like being with your team.
Honest, though, it's never happening.
No.
It's just
Never?
It's just it's just too
Logistically, I
expensive.
don't think it'll work.
It's just expensive for no
It's
reason. For like
expensive, yeah.
little, no
I
return.
think COVID taught them how cheap doing all this online was, and I don't think they're ever going back.
Yeah, 100%.
I think
it is what it is.
It's just tough that like the only quality facility I can see that really has all the resources required, right? Like practice areas, a stage,
Esports arena in Arlington, right?
catering stuff like IT. That's all built out is going to be ESA, and I can just see the political problem with that. With some teams about we're just not going to let Optic just fucking host a LAN league in their backyard in the fucking venue they own. And people say, well, what about Columbus? Well, there's no esports venue in Columbus. Belong fucking closed. So before you even talk about cost, or even talk about T&E costs that's on the teams, like
the
there's just no
Saudis
place
will
to do
save
it.
us, man.
The Saudis,
Yes, you guys want
man.
to go to fucking Riyadh for league matches?
Yeah, let's have a LAN league in Riyadh.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I think I agree. Just logistically, it just doesn't make any sense. It's too
I would
expensive.
love for it to work. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be great for sure. But Benjay, why don't you sing us out? A lot of people are coming in already. You can see the poll already building up yesterday. Did you troll yesterday, or was that when did you
No,
troll?
I had it yesterday.
No, I had it yesterday.
The day when Shotzi was here, you panicked. You got nervous. I think.
panicked?
Yeah, you got
No,
nervous.
Ben
I said
missed
that
online.
putt.
You missed-
There's no panic.
Bro, Sam, he missed like 3 putts.
Ben missed online.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
he
I
missed like
saw
5
mine.
in a row.
he missed a whole shit ton.
Just like Optic losing online matches, I'm missing.
Green wall
what
attack.
the
Green wall
fuck?
attack.
me
Green
up for
wall,
that
get
one.
this guy.
What the fuck?
Green wall, get this guy now. Get this guy. Look at him. Look. Get this guy now. Get him. What the fuck is... Why did he throw that stray out there? He didn't need to throw that stray out there.
Optic has 1-0-2 weekend.
That was OD of me. My bad.
They shut the fuck up and hit the ball. Benjamin Asim slip is on, chirping the fans before hitting a...
Chirping the Optic fans.
Chirping the Optic fans before going for the putt. Let's see if he gets the insta karma as he goes for the putt, and he makes the putt barely. He barely makes the putt.
Barely made the putt.
That was almost short. That was almost short there.
That was almost short. The last roll got in.
Yeah, but that's going to do it for Benjay's putt. That's going to do it for today's episode of The Flank. I hope you guys enjoyed the watch parties and the show this weekend. Guys, we're getting to that point of the year now, man. We're almost at the home stretch, guys. We're at the home stretch. Got Major
By the
Fort
way,
coming up, champs. Go ahead,
Important
Pat.
note, Ben is 6 for 12 putting the stage.
Wow,
Damn.
Ben, that is not good.
It's getting to
Benji.
champs
Benji,
time,
that
Ben.
is
Are you
not
crumbling late
good.
game? Late
Benji, what's
season?
going on?
Yeah,
What's
I want
going
to see
on
you
there,
guys make some
Benji?
fucking
Are you
putts, bitch.
crumbling late season? Ben?
Oh,
okay.
man. Well, guys, that's going to do it for us. I hope you guys enjoyed all the watch parties, all the shows, regardless of who you were watching, who you were tuning into. We appreciate all the love. As always, man, you guys have been incredible. All the energy in the chat and in the YouTube comments, you guys have been insane. So, and thank you to everybody who's been interacting with the community over here, too. Been asking some good questions. We're going to keep doing stuff like that. We'll even next week, maybe we'll even... with some of these matches, we'll start bringing some of you guys in Discord again. We'll get the flank stage going again, and we'll bring some people in, answer some questions, and get the community involved. But excuse me, I've been sick for the last week. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, go to anchor.fm/theflank to check out the audio sites we're on. Go follow at the flank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials. And as always, man, take care, brush your hair, and we'll see you guys next time on another episode of the flank, man. Take it easy.
Did you guys tweet after?
Oh, shit, I fucking died.